All right. Good morning. Good morning, Jean.
Good morning.
Good morning, Doris. We are on Wake Up with Toastmasters, and we have a guest. Yay!
Yay.
We love it when we have guests because we get to hear a little bit about who they are, why they are a Toastmaster, and why they continue. And I'm not sure if we are asking questions or if Doris is going to just cook up something this morning for us. Are you cooking something up for us, or am I going to ask our traditional questions, Doris?
I'm going to do both because that's what we try to do in Toastmasters in the kitchen. We try to do multitask in the kitchen and have so much fun. So I'm up for anything.
All right, well, great. Doris, you and I have known each other for over a year now. We've never met face to face, but I don't know your whole story about Toastmasters. How did you join? What brought you to Toastmasters, and what keeps you in Toastmasters?
Well, I did my icebreaker in 1998 and I joined Toastmasters. I was working with a company and a client came in and we started chatting. They told me about Toastmasters and I thought, oh, that sounds like fun because I had a side business. I had a business of planning parties for children, which I really enjoyed, but I had to learn how to sell my business, how to speak to people. And I was a little bit shy about it. I wasn't as confident as I would like to be. So I joined and I've been a member of that club ever since, taking a few years off here and there when my children went to university and stole my car. But I've always, so I've always come back. I love it. Stole my car. So I've always come back.
Jean, we can hear you. Never mind, I muted him.
Technology, isn't it awesome?
Yeah. He's trying to make comments, I'm sure, while you're talking. So is that me or there you go?
Okay, that's awesome.
All right, so your kids stole your car at the university, so you couldn't continue to
go to Toastmasters, and that was 4 years at a time. Mm-hmm. But when I was able to, I certainly went. But now that everything's online, I don't need a vehicle. I have one, but I don't need one. And I've been traveling around the world. I'm a member of 4 clubs. Of course, Toastmasters in the kitchen, for Toastmasters in Texas, Woody Birds in the UK, and then my home club is the Energetics in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada.
Wow, 4 clubs. I was asked the other day it was actually yesterday, why would one join more than one club? Why are you part of 4 clubs?
You know what? I think it's just mind-blowing when you are a member of Toastmasters for that $80. I call it the $80 passport. For $80, you can travel the world for 6 months. You don't have to pack a bag. You have to be dressed like half dressed, at least here. But
get up, comb your hair, put on a shirt. You're good.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just been awesome. I've visited clubs all over the world. Israel, Middle East, Europe, some parts of Asia, Africa, a lot of North America. It's just, and I know people from all over the world. So I have so many connections, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. You have that personality where you are attracting people, and it is pretty exciting to get to know you, especially. And I think you want to know people and genuinely want to get to know people. Now, she did mention that it was $80, and I know we're all around the world, and that's the conversion of the dollar to different parts of the world.
That's Canadian dollars. That's not US dollars. There's a little bit of difference in the dollars there. Yes.
Now, there's a little different personalities in each clubs, and especially if you're in the United States, it's going to be, the culture is a little different than Canada, and you're also in the UK as well. And even, I'm sure Texas is, sometimes Texas is a union in itself, right?
Oh, I love my Texas club, and they are just waiting for me to come visit them in Texas. They're just ready for me. It's like, come on, let's go. And I'm not ready to travel yet.
Yeah. How long have you been a member of the Texas Club?
Let's see, probably 18 to 20 months. I'd have to check, but almost 2 years. And,
Yeah.
and I've really built a strong relationship with that club and the people. Pretty amazing.
Well, you do a really good job I know that you were president and you're doing a great job with the 3 weeks that you've been president of Toastmasters in the Kitchen. Now, since you belong to 4 clubs, what benefit do you see from yourself as your growth?
It's really stretched me quite a bit. I was president last year of my Texas club, and to be president of a club that you've never physically been in was challenging, but wow, it's been incredible. It's been just a great experience. And every club has different aspects that I need. That's why I'm a member of 4 clubs. One has very strong technology, which I really enjoy. The Fredericksburg Club, I just love them because they're just so lovable. Toastmasters in the Kitchen, I love the creativity of everyone. Everybody's so creative and the energy is just amazing. And we have people from all over the world. My home club is my home club. I get to be there physically within a club meeting. And it's so much variety. It's just so much fun.
Yes. Now there was a question that I was going to ask. You were talking about your, no, this is what I wanted to say. So being in the Zoom environment in 3 clubs, you have this knack of wanting to get to know people. And you're saying that you love your home club in Canada, you get to meet them face to face, but you have this knack of wanting to get to know people, and you're not even afraid. I love it that you're not afraid to go, hey, let's get on Zoom and have some coffee, and that's why, let's have some coffee, let's have a chat. And it makes you have this image that you can actually, we're sitting next to Doris and basically getting to know her one-on-one and feeling that she's right there. And I'm not sure if that's a Toastmaster thing or if it's a Doris thing that you're naturally good at, or did you grow because of Toastmasters and, hey, let's meet, let's talk? Is that something that you naturally do?
Thank you. I think communication, and to get to know, especially when you're in any kind of leadership within an organization, it's so important to know the people in your organization. And within a Toastmaster club, usually there's about 20 to 25 members. That's easy to do. And I find that I just love that connection in leadership. I like to have that one-on-one with our members so I can see what are their talents, like what makes them tick. Because when you're in a club environment, you see some aspects of a person, but when you really meet them, and I call it a virtual coffee, it's just a little bit better. Like you really get to know the person. And I'm a people person. I want to know about you. I want to see what you can do. And I like to encourage people, and I like to be encouraged as well. And it kind of goes both ways. It's just a win-win situation when you do that.
Yeah, and you do it very well. Jean, do you, excuse me, do you have any questions for Doris? Jean has a whole new setting back here right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start cooking my breakfast as Jean is talking. I'm making an omelet, and I picked some fresh dill from my raised garden outside. It's very exciting in Canada when we can grow things because we only have summer for about 4.5 months. So it's very exciting for us. So when we have a garden, we're out there picking every morning. Oh, there's a tomato. Oh, there's some fresh dill. So I'm going to be making breakfast. You can ask all the questions you would like.
Now, Doris, I'm sorry, Gina, it just made me think of something really quick. Doris, I'm still on Toastmasters in the kitchen, still waiting to see your garden. You haven't shown us your garden yet. So I would love to see your garden and how it is laid out. I have a vision of it, but we're in the desert. So if we see something green and luscious, we'll get really excited. Like, wow.
Well, the environment is quite different here. I've spoken before in Toastmasters that I can go walking every morning by a river, and we have forests. Like we have like 9,000 trees per capita for each person. So I can go hug 9,000 trees in Canada.
Wow.
So lots of trees. I'm by the water, which I really, really love. I find that when I'm by the water, I just feel creative. I feel just positive energy. And and it's nice, I go out, and maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was walking with my neighbor, and a deer just jumped over the trail about 15 feet away from us. So
wow.
I'm in a big city, but I'm so close to nature. So it is different here.
Yeah. Well, we should come visit you instead of you coming out to us. So
Come on over.
Jean, do you have a question for Doris? You're on mute. I muted you. Still mute. Still mute. Still mute. Where's that mute button?
Hey, Jean, where are you?
I wish that I wish that Zoom would allow somebody to unmute somebody as well when somebody is on mute, because then you can unmute them. But now you're
I'm gonna chop up my dill here. Yeah.
While he's still trying to unmute himself, I'm going to tell people what you actually, for Toastmasters in the Kitchen, our club actually does demonstrations where we show cooking and talking at the same time.
That's what I'm doing.
So Doris does a great job at it. She, right now, tell us what you're doing. What are you making, Doris?
I am going to make myself a nice omelet this morning. I'm going to have the omelet. I'm going to put some fresh dill in it, a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I grated up some old sharp cheese, and I'm going to put the cheese in there. Then I'm going to serve it with some tomato on the side and a whole grain toast. I've already had a banana this morning. I like to eat healthy, lots of fruits and vegetables. I actually shared a challenge this past week that I am doing, and it's fun.
So, Jean, we have Doris talking. We can hear you or hear her through your Zoom square.
Yeah, that's quite interesting.
That is.
I can hear that too. Did I really actually say that?
Okay, so I think I found my mute button.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. Welcome back.
It was hidden underneath the Zoom link. So there you go. Doris, what province are you in?
I am in Ontario, Canada.
Ontario.
I live close to Toronto.
Very nice.
If you know Toronto, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs. All the sports teams.
What's the coldest temperature you've seen up there?
I'm sorry, the coldest temperature? Oh my goodness. Maybe minus 25 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
It could even be colder. It's so
A
cold
lot
that
more.
it's so cold that your eyeballs freeze.
What?
No, they don't actually freeze, but it feels like they're freezing. And I still go out. I have some hiking poles, and I'll go out there, and I have layers and layers and layers on, because I love the winter too. I love the winter. Sometimes it's hard to walk. Sometimes the snow can be like 3 feet high, but we try to find the areas that are a little bit plowed. But yeah, it's very exciting. We have snow tires, and quite different than Las Vegas.
See, that you couldn't get me to do. I would not. I don't like the snow. I lived in Reno for 5 years, and we lived in Germany as well. And I do not like the snow. I would not be able to handle that.
Yeah, I know Germany has snow, but it's a milder winter than here.
Yeah. Now, Doris, you've been a Toastmaster for quite a few years. Have you served in district leadership?
I've been an area director, but I haven't really pursued anything higher than that. I kind of like the more of the club level as far as leadership.
Well, I think you would be a fantastic PRM and maybe club growth because of your passion that you do have for Toastmasters. So just to put a little bug in your ear, whether it's your home district or D115. So.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. That's something I may consider.
You do a wonderful job. Now, what's happening with your eggs? What's going on? You said
my eggs are kind of sitting here and wondering, are you going to do anything with these eggs? So I just put a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to put them in. I'm going to add my dill to it, the fresh dill. Sometimes I add fresh chives in there as well, but I just like the different flavors of the herbs. It's quite nice, especially with the sharp cheese.
Okay. First thing, you put olive oil. We're like bacon and butter over here in the United States. I'm sure your Texans also probably are like.
Yeah, I do like bacon, and we do use butter. We use a lot of oil. We use a lot of olive oil. Maybe it's a very European sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, you said aged sharp cheese. Did you age it yourself or did you buy it aged?
I bought it aged. I don't know if I aged cheese in my refrigerator, it probably aged moldy. I don't know if I don't know if I have that technology. I leave it to the professionals.
Well, and the reason why I mentioned that because of the fact that the way you describe what you're doing when you said aged sharp cheese, usually we're just, we would just go, I'm going to the refrigerator to grab me some cheese.
Yeah, sure. I think there's just so many. I think when you explore food, you find so many different kinds of cheeses, so many different ways of cooking things. I live in a very multicultural neighborhood. So my neighbor is always bringing me Indian food. Oh my goodness, I love her. And then I cook like more Canadian food. I'm French Canadian, so maybe just different kinds of foods, and we kind of swap with each other. And I just love that. I just love my community, the way it's very multicultural, and it makes it very exciting, especially when it comes to food, because then we can kind of swap recipes and just enjoy each other's culture. And I think food is something that brings people together. And I think that's amazing because we eat at least 3 times a day. And when we can eat with each other in a special event, a special dinner, barbecue, party, everybody talks about the food. The food is important in every event. So I think that's why it's a big interest to me. If I'm going to make food, I try to use my imagination. I am an artist, so I use my imagination and try to make it as exciting as possible and as pretty as possible. In Toastmasters in the Kitchen, I always have to find the right plate to put in the food and do a beautiful presentation. So yeah. You
do that. Now, Toastmasters in the Kitchen, when you are talking about how you have multicultural neighborhood that you're in, Toastmasters in the Kitchen also has a group of, we're international. We have you, who French Canadian, and we have I, who is from Japan. And we do have visitors from sometimes from the UK or Scotland or the Philippines. We had somebody from Korea once. So it's definitely an international a club. When we say Toastmasters International, we do mean Toastmasters International, which is around the club. What is the oddest or odd to you food that we saw presented in our club meeting?
I don't know if I've seen anything odd, because I'm very open to what people are presenting, and I will sometimes try it. I think Jennifer, I really enjoyed your presentation last week when you made the chicken salad and you put it in like the green pepper and you made the cold soup. What did you call the soup again? I'm sorry.
It's gazpacho. I can't say it right.
Gazpacho, and it's looked absolutely delicious. So I can't say odd. I would just say I love different. I love different because I always think, maybe I'd like that. And I'm pretty good. The only thing I don't like, and this probably sounds terrible, but I don't like shrimp. That's probably the only food I don't like is shrimp. What? Yeah, I know. And when people cook with shrimp, I always go, okay, that looks good. What can I use instead of shrimp? That's about the only thing. That's the only thing I don't like.
That's interesting.
I'm pretty open.
Yeah, my presentation on Sunday, I was crazy busy all day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to cook. And that's where, if you saw in the description, even though it was a cool meal, I was still sweating because it was.
Yeah, it's something else, isn't it?
Yeah, even though when we're presenting, even though we've done this for a couple of years now, we still get that anxiety. Somebody asked me about that question or made a statement that the reason why he was looking for Toastmasters was because of the anxiety. He says he doesn't have that fear of being up in front of people and doing the presentation, but he had that anxiety. And I said, what will happen is when you are a Toastmaster, the anxiety never really goes away, but you actually can control it a little bit where you can do that presentation and you're not sweating and you don't show that you have that anxiousness. And like Doris, every time she does a presentation, she will not have that appearance of being anxious. But Doris, when you do give a presentation, do you still have that anxiety?
Well, you'd have to talk to my husband about that, what I'm like half an hour before I do a presentation. No, camera has to be there. This has to be there. And I'll tell you the honest truth. When I first started Toastmasters in the Kitchen, I was a nervous wreck. But now that I'm getting used to working with a camera, and sometimes I am looking down, I'm looking because I want to see the faces, but I'm getting used to looking at the camera, looking out here. So the anxiety starts to go down and finding out how do I prepare for a presentation. When you're cooking a presentation, like today, I'm not doing that, but you will usually I'm putting the cheese in. Woo! So delicious. When you're preparing for a presentation, especially for cooking, I find that I have to chop everything beforehand and have everything prepared, which is really a great tool in life to learn how to prepare for things. Yes. So everything's chopped, everything's prepared, everything's, ready for me to go because we only have 25 minutes to make a meal. So we have to make sure we're not spending 3 minutes chopping a tomato. So it's the prep, preparing, and then the execution. Well, it makes it easier to do the execution of your presentation when you are prepared beforehand. So it's a great life skill. It really does teach you many things.
I like that. I think Jean has a question.
I do. Have you ever tried using multiple cameras? Like you position one to look right down in the pan when you're cooking something, you could have a second camera that you could switch to?
Yes, I usually do have a second camera. My phone is on the blink right now and my camera is not working. So I need a new phone. If anybody has any suggestions, please put it in chat. But yes, we usually use 2 cameras. So we would have a camera. I'd have a camera. I have a arm that comes out with my cell phone. It would be right here where I'm cooking. So you would actually see these tomatoes that I have cut up. Usually I have that. Today I don't. Thank you for bringing that up, Jean. Yes, we do. And I've been playing with the idea of adding a third camera. So because, when you're moving around the kitchen, it's kind of fun to see exactly what each person is doing. If I could persuade my husband, I'd have him as my camera person and go around the kitchen. But he's usually watching a football game or a hockey game during the meeting. So I don't think it's going to happen.
There are cameras that can follow you, or not cameras, but a tool that can follow you. And I've been toying with the idea also with using a third camera, because my actual camera that I have can actually stream at the same time as well.
Oh,
It can actually go live onto my laptop as well, which I haven't practiced yet. And I wanted to do that. And so maybe when we do our, we're going to do, what is it? Chop cooking in a couple of weeks with Toastmasters in the Kitchen, where we'll have a duel. I am super excited that Betsy actually asked us to do that, because I was thinking, I don't watch the cooking shows that often. So I watched Barbecue Brawl a few episodes, and I was thinking, how would we be able to make it work? And I think Betsy has actually done it, where we are going to be able to have that contest. So for those of you who are watching and wondering about what Toastmasters in the Kitchen is all about, come and see that one. That is going to be a lot of fun. And that's on August 4th. And you will see throughout the Facebook land of advertisement, we are kicking up our promos a little bit more. So I'm really excited about.
Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer's doing a great job as public relations. Very exciting. And we've been pushing members to do videos every single week to promote what they're doing in a presentation. So that's been a lot of fun. People are doing the videos, sending them to Jennifer, and she's doing her magic. And it's pretty incredible. Woo!
It's pretty exciting. So I think that we're getting a lot of exposure, and our members are having a lot of fun with it. And I'm super excited that people have taken on that challenge to be able to say, yes, I want to do a video. I want to help promote the club, because you know what, as we get exposure to it, we get more people and we will get more members, and it makes it more fun. So I'm super excited.
Absolutely. We want to see as many kitchens around the world. I think that is the exciting thing. I know with who's from Japan, she taught us how to make sushi and to make different kinds of appetizers, desserts. And I'm thinking, I can make that. And it's something that we're exposed to, and it's something new. And we never know when we're making something that somebody may say, oh, what's that? Like, that's something different. So yes, we want to have more members and see more people in the kitchen sharing their life story, sharing their food.
Yes.
Because food is love. Food is love. Like when you really cook a beautiful meal and present it to somebody, it's showing love. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful experience.
Yes. I think the not the oddest, but the great thing that I showed us one day, it wasn't even food. It was because in Japan, I guess there's just little bitty spaces that they live in, and you don't have a big fridge like we do. And she cracks up whenever I show her a chicken. I'm like, this is my little chicken. And she goes, Jennifer, that's the biggest chicken I've ever seen, So, and she even said that I think it was the tomatoes or the bell peppers, because that was the biggest vegetable that I've ever seen. But what she showed us the one time about growing your vegetables and making it as a floral, and it was just a styrofoam plate, put some water in, and sprouts started coming up, and it brings out the scents, and the prettiness of a floral in your house. And I thought that was probably the greatest. It was pretty cool that she showed us that. So, well, we are running out of time, and I'm sure your omelet is done.
Yes, it is. I'm going to cut up my toast here and put it in the plate. And I'll just kind of put my plate up. I love everything looking beautiful. And here we go. I'll put a little salt and pepper. And here we go. Here's my breakfast. And I wish I could share a plate with both of you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for being on and showing us your skills of being able to talk and cook at the same time. And you know what, if you out there in Facebook world would like to learn how to do a presentation where you have to use a tool, use a camera and talk at the same time, come visit Toastmasters in the Kitchen. Doris, tell us when we are on.
We are every single Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
We are from 4 to 5:30 Pacific time. I had to give her a thumbs up because Doris is in a few different time zones when she's in different Toastmasters meetings. So good job, Doris. I'm so glad that you came on today. And if any of you Toastmasters would like to come on and talk about your club as well, you are more than welcome to talk to our club growth director, Scott Transu. Leave a comment and say, hey, I want to do this too, because you know what? Give your club some exposure, give them credit what you have learned in Toastmasters and your growth. So, all right, well, our time is up. We will see you next Wednesday with me and Jean, or Jean and I. But tomorrow you will see Scott and Phyllis. You might see me pop up in the morning, maybe just to get them on. We're still having some issues with getting Scott on in the morning. So, all right. Well, you guys have a great day. It is Wednesday, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Bye.